It surely is another red day in the market. If you do look at these stable coins and the volume of money, there you can see with a sign of reversal, a lot of that is going to jump back into the market. Yes, when you do look at this, Bitcoin dropped a whole of 9% in last 3-4 days. If you do look at the daily close and how much we did for the day, you can actually see that the price did drop close to 7%. But you have to put things into perspective. Here we had 17% to the downside. Here was 9.5%. Here was 7.5%. Then now 6.5. Look at the volume during each of those drop. What does that show you? One, a trend line to the upside in the price action. Two, a reduction in volume when the selling is happening. Now, yes, for sure, when you take a look at a lot of different assets, say Fetch is down like 30%, XRP is down like 16%, ETH is down like 12%. So you have a lot of different assets doing a lot of different things in the market. You'll see some of them breaking a trend line, trying to break through that, some of them holding on to it. So there is a lot of different assets fluctuating. With that, there is the thought process of Tether. The third to thought process has to be aligned. This has been there from some time. So this was back in 2023 before all the recent run-up started. So if you do look at things into perspective and look at the time, this was last month, right, for European users. So you get to see how things are moving. And after all of that, today, when you come to the Tether side of things, you have 85 billion in the daily trading volume. So you cannot compare it with anything other than Bitcoin, which still is half of it. You go to the markets and you get to see where the money is flowing in from. What difference does this make? How would you look at the market for the next few days? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. If you do look at how the market has been playing out, there are some reality we have to face. We do have to look at how things are playing out, and we do have to understand the mistakes. Say, if I'm looking at this, right now the market is showing you this, fine, agreed. But just 2 days back, we had shared this thought process saying this is an asset which is showing you negative divergence. It should come back down. This was another asset showing a red flag, and I was pointing out about a couple of other assets as well. So we had few assets over last 10 days showing us that it should drop. There was something coming. But on the other side, there was a lot of them which were showing upside, right? Ether has kind of followed through this path and even wicked through to the downside. So it did follow this, and we shared this thought process like 3 days back. Then we've been following it up from the local top here. So the market kind of gave you the thought process. It's going to be something like this, but at the bottom, the panic, it kind of pushed through the bottom. It was like a rug pull at one point. We felt like that. 10 days back, like a week back, we shared this thought process about the altcoin market. Like, yeah, we have this, right? Next 2 to 3 days, I was looking at this, but I was wrong. It was not in next 2 to 3 days. It took a week to come back down to this level to retest that. At this moment, how does it look like? Yes, it is true. We had the thought process for a lot of these assets which were showing downside. Right now, what can we learn? What can we be prepared for? This is going to be the next thought process which I would like to share in detail in this video. If you do understand all of this just took place and we are still and one of the smallest drop in the recent past, in the last couple of months. Then you do look for opportunities. And that's Bitcoin side of things actually. Because the moment you come on to the altcoin side of things, you get to see a lot of these coins dropping 30%, 25%. There's a lot of them showing you multiple levels of support being broken. So the moment you're on a macro chart, then you look for macro support. And that's where you would be looking for opportunities. So now we got liquidated in some of the trades, being honest. Like we went up to like 20x. Now we are down to 7x in the portfolio, 3.5x taken out. So the aim of going big to 100x is now slowed down. Yeah, we are down, but that doesn't mean the game is over. Once you look at this and you understand the fact that the market in this game gives you these opportunities to double down. For example, you don't want to be in an asset which actually gives you this narrative. I would not enter there. This is one of the reasons why I was saying here, like Fitch. I had posted the Fitch earlier, right? So like Fitch, this guy was also showing negative divergence. Price was going up, but RSI was going down. But today, I learned another hard lesson. It doesn't matter if this is showing you negative and dropping, and the other guy is still showing you positive, because the market is not mature yet. Take that. I mean, that's really honest thought process from my end. We still have a lot of retail who are just new to this market, and with any asset that's dropping, they drop dead. They don't care whether it's going to be a 6% drop. When they see other assets dropping 20, 30%, they drop even an asset which has significant upside in the short term too. We just learned that hard way. Now, that means once you see this next time in a group of assets, just like I showed you, we had this thought process in a lot of different assets, which means after that, step out and wait. But right now, is this the time to wait? Last drop here was close to 35% from the local top to the bottom. Now it's 45. So you have to ask you a question. So this is in one asset. Say you go into a different asset. You want to look at the altcoin segment as a whole. This is ETH, which is just below the range actually. I wouldn't be happy at that daily close, being honest. But the moment you actually look at this asset on a 3-day chart, you will actually look at this and say, okay, what's happening? I want to know what the hell is really happening here. Last was a 20% drop. Right now we have around 25%. And that low was made last month, 19th of March. We are still in that range. Nothing has changed. The price action has been volatile, but the movement and the direction has not changed. What do I mean? You just take a trend line. You want to follow the trend because the trend is your friend. When it reaches close to that trend line, that's where you would say, okay, the support is coming close. So that means you would have a lot more an opportunity here, because right now the market is showing you something more. RSI has reached this level, but the price is still way higher. That for me is hidden bullish divergence, which shows that the price action can go further to the upside. We have seen similar moves in the market. Last time when we were here, we got that. It was not an easy time when the price was dropping, but if you do take time and learn from the market, that was like a 23% to the downside. So what was it here? 25, 26. What happened after that? It directly went upside, and after such a 25% drop, it performed 60% to the upside. Fine. So after that, the price again dropped what? Close to 29%. After that, the price went up 75%. Now we have a 26% drop. Maybe we'll have a little bit more, say 28. So if you put that number into place, you would argue next would be 90% to the upside. So that's like, okay, Ether going towards 6,000, say 5,500 to 6,000. That's going to be the range. Once the dust is settled here, you will see the market going back up. This has not been the first time when the market is dropping. We have seen 40% moves, but that's inside the accumulation range. In the markup phase, what we are watching is the history repeating in itself. We've discussed about these. We have seen 35-40% drops before multiple times. This was 35, 36, 37, and the market was still going back to the upside. Now, the easy way to look at it is to use a weekly chart and to look at your direction. You usually break through, come back down, test the moving average and bounce. That bounce went through the average. It came back down to test the moving average. It went back up. Now, the first one, you bounced off. The second one, you're coming to test the moving average, which is still there. That's still relevant. So the moment you get to see a reversal, use that. Now, if you are trading in the market, you'll have to use multiple things which go in your way. And look at this. The moment you get a reversal here, that's where you would be looking to use that for your advantage. Now, if you're trading micro levered, you would go shorter horizon. But other than that, you want to stick with the macro. You want to stick with the support and resistance. The basic here is this. You're still at that range which we have not yet broken. So you put that into perspective, you would actually look at Ether and say, okay, this is what we are watching. If we bounce back up in next 24 hours, 48 hours, that is going to be good. You're going to make an accumulation range in a micro, meaning you went up, you came back down, you consolidated here. You want to see a spring and a bounce, this leg up. So if you are to take benefit of this ride, you would have 2-3 legs to the upside here, which you should be using. Now, if the consolidation is more and the pain in the market is bigger, the upside is also bigger. In the case of assets which are not in the all-time highs ranges. Now take Bitcoin for that matter. It would be a little bit more easier. This drop was 22%. This drop was 21%. You actually get to see what the market is doing clearly, like another 21% here. And here we are, we got like 18. So we fell shy. But each of these times, before the 21 came in, you actually had a 12 or 15, and then you went back up to make a higher high. Maybe barely, but it still made some. Like 18% drop here, you went back up, put in a high, and then came back down. So here the case was almost similar. 12% down, you went back up to make a new high and came back down. Remember the thought process which we shared earlier, 3-4 days back? This is what we were looking at. Now that is the reality. I mean, it's not good reality because some of my trades also got liquidated, even though they were kept, the margin was kept below this range of Bitcoin fluctuation. Like last time it came this low, I took the dry powder at the top and added the margin and put it down. But this time, some of those assets got liquidated, which means their trend is weak. So I didn't put in more margin now because they are not sustaining well. They're breaking the trend. That is exactly where I'm trying to take the SI family into the right position. Showing you guys, look, guys, these are some of the assets you may have to look at. You may have to look through different ideologies, but understand the macro trend, the micro pattern, the support. If that's all still valid, it's good. But if you do have the negative divergence, that's a risk game you're playing. See, when the market has dropped like this for certain assets, like 30-40%, but some of them with the panic, yes, they did drop, but they dropped what? That's the question. If that drop 25, 30, 35 at the bottom of the wick, there is some issue. You need to look at the macro trend. But if it is only 15 to 20 at the bottom of the wick, it's still okay. Now that's where you look at XRP and you want to see where it is and other strong assets are. Like say XRP is down 10% right now after this micro bounce. XLM is like 12. So you have a ton of other assets here in the top portion, which is still down 20, 30%. So now you look through a lot of different assets and you're starting to see some huge opportunities, fire sale in the market. So if you're looking at the right perspective, you're looking for the opportunities. You're not in a panic scenario. Now, this is XRP. If I don't touch XRP, some people will shoot me in the comments, even though this is happening. But this is important, being honest. We dropped 16%. The daily close came in and we are below that support. I didn't like that. We wanted to see the price going back immediately to the upside. It didn't happen, which means now that 0.565 is your resistance. Do I like it? No, I don't. Because that will reduce your momentum and the start of this game. That's where you go on to XLM and it shows you something. Last time you did a similar pattern on a wick, this guy performed very well, right? If you put in the numbers, you'll actually see 165% to the upside was what XLM performed. If you put that numbers here, you'll actually have to argue that this guy is going for a bigger run than XRP on a shorter horizon. Because the moment you put that into a macro picture, you're now putting the clear argument, okay, that's a reversal. And this was the kick out of the major retail movements, because a lot of retail has been accumulating this asset or these group of assets. And you can see in the history, before each big leg started, even though we were trending to the upside, they washed a lot of people out of the market and then went up. Think about it. If the price literally wanted to just run from here to here, why the hell does it drop like this? Because it really don't want each and every one of us to make money. That's the market. Whales, they are involved heavy. Financial institutions, they are heavy in here. So if you do understand what the market is doing, try to learn from that. We all get slapped by the market. But learning from that and moving into the right direction using that lesson gives you that advantage. Now we're going to do the same thing, the exact same thing. We take notes from what the market just showed us. We're going to use that to use the next 30 to 40 days in a perfect manner. It won't be perfect, but at least close to the perfection. Because remember, when you take 10 trades, 2 to 3 is literally going to go against you. Legends have an average of like 6 out of 10, which is like Warren Buffett, Howard Marks, Peter Lynch, all of those guys. And in one of our, not one, on many of our one-on-one sessions recently, now if you were one of those guys who went through that discussion in the one-on-one session, do let me know in the comment section below, so others know that I'm talking reality, I'm being honest. I was saying this, right now, before this happened, we were 85% accurate. And that's not skill set, that's just luck. Usually it's 60 to 70. Now, after the liquidations, yeah, we are 65% accurate. Others got liquidated. So I was telling this is going to be choppy. The market is going to surprise us at one point, because usually in the last 8 years of history, I'm still 60 to 70% average. So when I'm at 85 to 90, I know something is coming, but I really don't know which asset is going to go against me at that point. One of them was surprise to me based on the initial drop, because it was just capitulating at the midsection, not the initial portion. So in that scenario, if you are trading, especially with leverage, understand not all the 10 trades if you take will be a winner. If you want 12 trades to be successful, maybe you have to take 15 to 16 to get 12 winners. So if you're looking for an average, you may have to take 16. So keep that in mind and play this game a little bit safer. Don't go 5, 10, 20x levered. I went 5x in a couple of trades. One of them got kicked out. One is still alive, and I'm surprised. Because all the indicators which I looked at, it was same for both, but one got killed. One is still safe. I'm like, okay, fine. So this one looks strong, right? So that's the game. So guys, if you received value from the video, smash that like button. If you want to join the SI family in the ride back to the upside from this level of support, use this link in the description to reach me and my trades. Whenever I take a trade, you guys get to see that. And especially, I believe in next 30 to 40 days, we would be running for that 10x from this moment. If you want to join that, use this information for your benefit. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.